Hello, Catherine. It's really great to have you on our Business Academy. And I want to introduce Catherine because Catherine does skincare that I absolutely adore, which is Tropic. I've been using it for a few years now and I absolutely love it. And Catherine's going to be telling us about how it can help. And I think anyone with skin problems will really appreciate everything you're going to be saying, men and women.
Yeah. Hi, Linda. Hi, everybody. It's great to be here. I was having a slight bit of imposter syndrome because I was thinking, how can I make skincare apply to business? And then I kind of really got it. So hopefully what I share today will be useful. And of course, please do contact me after the presentation if you want any sort of personalized tips and advice.
That's fantastic. Go ahead with your presentation then. I mean, one of the things that I think is big for me is confidence because if people
Yeah.
have got a problem with their skin, again, whether it's men or women, going out to events and things, they just don't want to, they don't want to go out at all, do they?
No, exactly. And I've met people that do stay at home because they feel their skin is so bad, or they have to cake themselves in so much makeup, and that becomes a problem in itself sometimes. So, and it's expensive too, actually. So, yes, it's a really important but sometimes overlooked area of business life, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant. Well, I'm looking forward to your presentation. So far away.
Oh, thanks, Linda. Okay, so I'm Catherine Lloyd and I'm a Tropic Skincare Ambassador. And I thought I'd just say, why am I here today? Well, I mean, obviously, it's a great opportunity that Synergy provides to do these business academies, and I couldn't resist the opportunity. But also, I really do love helping people to feel good in their skin. I'm passionate about skincare and well-being in general, and Tropic in particular. It's clean, green, healthy, and ethical, and the products are just amazing. And through Tropic, it gives me the opportunity to promote wellness in general, and I give back a little bit by doing workplace wellness sessions, so I can rock up to your workplace and do treatments for both men and women, whether that's a little hand treatment, a hand massage, or a little mini facial. Um, so just
Sorry, I was just going to interrupt there. Do you
sorry.
get booked up for, this time of year? Because I should imagine that's quite a nice thing to do for workplace to have a little hand massage or watch a
Yeah,
skincare routine or something.
it is a lovely thing to do, actually, and people are booking me up. So yes,
Mm.
do get in there. Or I'm very happy to do one-to-one sessions as well. I had a little pamper here for some friends last night and did facials on everybody, and
Oh,
it was so lovely. It's something that I really love doing.
okay.
So just a very quick bit about me, because not everybody knows me, because I can't always get to all the meetings. I go to the big ones, but the ones that are near to me are not on nights that I could do, unfortunately. So I'm actually an Essex girl. I was born in Chelmsford. I've got two lovely daughters. My main hobby is singing with a choir called Caritas Chamber Choir, which is based in East Kent, and we're not too shabby, actually. You can find us on Spotify. And I'm also a white van woman. I have a camper van, which is a Peugeot Boxer, which has taken me around Europe, although I did leave my diva dog behind. But anybody that's been on the networking events in Whitstable will have met Bella. Um, I've got a background in geography, in marketing and communications and wellness. And for the last 10, 15 years, I've been working with two thermal water spa town organizations in London, in Europe. I also do the occasional funeral. I play the piano and the viola, and I do love gardening and photography, and I love getting in cold water and hot water. And also, I spend a ridiculous amount of time messing about on Canva. Um, but anyway, so why is business confidence more than skin deep, and why does wellness matter in the workplace? Um, Hopefully today you'll get some takeaways, three of them hopefully. One, why skincare is important for your general health and well-being, but also your business life. Why getting somebody like me or other professionals in to talk about workplace wellness is such a great idea, and tips to boost your skin and your appearance. And as Linda said, your confidence without spending too much time or money, and especially during the winter months, because winter plays havoc with our skin. Um, so, love the skin you're in. How do you feel at the moment? Sometimes, particularly when you've been out in the wind, back into centrally heated places, you can get itchy and scratchy and your skin can feel tight, and it can be a distraction and even a drain on your confidence. And it might even stop you doing things that you want to do. Linda and I were talking earlier, this may be oversharing, but when I was little, we had tights that didn't really have much elastic in them, and they were constantly kind of falling down. And I remember that feeling of just, that was a constant drain on my attention and how I felt. And even today, if I haven't got a good pair of tights on, if I have to wear a dress, it really ruins my day. And in fact, I did a presentation the other day, and that was the case, and I didn't feel good at all. So when your skin is tight, it can be like that. And it can just put a bit of a crimp in your day. So it can, it can affect how you show up, basically. So your skin is actually your largest organ, and might be worth considering how well you look after it. There's a lot of attention at the moment about ultra processed food. And I've had some really interesting conversations at networking meetings actually about ultra processed food and what it's doing to your insides. But then you could also transfer that sort of conversation from the kitchen to the bathroom and think, what are you putting on your skin? How many chemicals that don't do you any good and don't do the environment any good are in the products that you're using? How are they affecting you? And often just a fraction of our skin is on show, our faces and our hands in a workplace setting. And this can really count because first impressions do count. And you might have taken the time and money to look good in your clothes. If you've got grey, lifeless skin, you might just be missing a trick because you're making yourself less attractive to the people that you're meeting, who are potential clients, potential networkers. And it's almost, this is a bit tongue in cheek, but it's a matter of trust as well. Do you look like your profile picture? Are you essentially lying about how you look? And will that have a knock-on effect on whether people will do business with you? Because if you're lying about how you look, what else might you lying about? And do you look tired? And this is very tongue-in-cheek, please forgive me, but do you look and feel as if you might not survive long enough to take your next order? These things are important when people kind of have that instant first impression and sum us up. And how's your handshake? And when you're networking to other people, and women in particular feel as if they've been ravaged by a bit of sandpaper, it can be quite off-putting if you don't have a good handshake. And also, if you show that you don't take care of yourself, what else are you not taking care of? And would you neglect your spreadsheets in the same way as you do your skin? And might this neglect be having an adverse effect on your bottom line? So, quite often, I think, oh, I'm not a judgmental person. I like to get to know people before I, really form an opinion. But we're all hardwired to really assess people and situations really quickly. It's in our DNA, and so those first impressions really do count. And I imagine, Linda, that you've come across that kind of thing in all the networking with Synergy.
Funnily enough, I was going to say, when I first started doing speed dating for the dating agency, the men
Remember
said,
those days?
I know, the men asked for longer which was odd because they obviously wanted to get to know the women a bit better, but the women basically said, "Can we just? I know." Just the moment they sit down, I know whether I want to be with them or not. In fact, some of them said, 8 seconds is fine. So,
Yes.
8 seconds is when a lot of women, at the time they give to evaluate somebody. And a lot of that is obviously to do with, obviously what they're wearing, but how they look, how they take care of themselves. And it's really, really important. And I would say that a lot of the things that I did in the dating game do reflect on people when they come networking as well. It's exactly the same.
Yeah.
People make a judgment on you, whether it's right or wrong, they do more or less as soon as you sit down.
Yeah.
and you know the way your skin looks and everything. Because the thing is, if you have got bad skin, people will either make assumptions that you don't eat correctly, or I don't even think there might be something, you know, physically wrong with you. But you know, it does impact on everything that people think, and you want to make that good first impression, don't you?
Yeah. And it's, some people spend a huge amount of time on their skin, and ladies on their makeup in particular. But a lot of people that I've met actually are almost proud, and they say, "Oh, I don't do anything to my skin. I'm just a soap and water girl," or I don't even take my makeup off at the end of the day. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe we need to start working on that, because it all helps.
Yeah, I mean, I've been using skincare, you know, from my 20s when I was first introduced to it. And, you know, I've always religiously, even if I've had too much to drink, amazingly, I used to wear contact lenses. And how I used to get my contact lenses out, I never know. But I would get them out and I would always cleanse my face. It's just that habit that's
Yeah.
been inbuilt into me. So I would always take my makeup off. Yeah, even but yeah, if I'd had loads to drink, I still always took my makeup off, and it's amazing, isn't it?
It is. It makes such a difference to how you feel in the morning as well when you wake up, and you can look in the mirror and go, "Oh yeah, I don't look like a panda."
And I
Um,
think it makes a difference when you as you grow older as well. I mean, you know,
yeah,
I'm quite lucky. You know, I won't reveal my age here today, but I mean, you've only got to look on Facebook, and you know, a lot of people do comment on how good my skin looks, and also with having my eyes lens replacement. I had to not wear makeup for nearly a month,
yeah.
and, so many people said to me, "Lynn, don't worry about it, that you've got great skin, you haven't got to worry," and I think I can owe that down to using the skincare routine, you know, provided by Tropic, and following it religiously every morning, every night. It's made a difference, definitely.
Brilliant. Well, you are a very good advert for it, so keep going.
Yeah.
Um, so we should probably stop just chatting amongst ourselves and talk about why workplace wellness initiatives are a great idea. Um, And also in the winter, particularly, I mean, at this time of year, there's a lot of lights and sparkle and a sense of anticipation. And we all sort of throw ourselves into, Christmas lunches and parties. And I know Linda's organising half of them. And, we kind of stop taking care of ourselves quite often. And then we get to January and think, oh my goodness, I'd better reset, stop drinking, stop smoking, start eating healthily, whatever that is. And also in this weather, I mean, it turned this week, didn't it? The cold weather and then central heating
Mhm.
make your skin feel really tight and uncomfortable. And, if you're like anything like me, probably just, you end up feeling more stressed, more grumpy, and you end up with lower sort of, productivity as well. And also because we can't get out and get that boost of oxytocin from being outside. So it's a really good time of year to start thinking about how you really look after yourself at work. And for employees, you'll end up with improved health, whether you have somebody coming in to help you with healthy eating or exercise, um, and or mental health and stress management. And you can get some tools to sort of improve your self-care habits in the future. You'll have increased morale and engagement. When the company is putting on workplace wellness initiatives, um, employees get to feel more valued and appreciated with a company that's investing in their well-being, and that can lead to job satisfaction and also greater sense of engagement, and just you just might want to stay in that job longer, and it can really change the atmosphere in the office, even if it's only for the day. It improves productivity, and can even, some programs can provide resources to help employees manage financial stress and pensions and that kind of thing. And when you're not worrying about that kind of thing, that contributes to your overall well-being as well. So there's all kinds of things that can be brought into the workplace, um, and that benefit employees. And for employers, sorry, healthier workforce means fewer sick days, And there can be a significant return on investment for employers, with increased productivity, reduced absenteeism and turnover of staff, and also that positive company culture and image. Um, and I'm very well aware that a lot of Synergy members are not in a traditional workplace. A lot of us are working from home, freelancing, or self-employed in lots of different ways, or we're sole traders as well. And so those support mechanisms might not be there. So just bear with me for a second. I'm just going to flick through these options, because you can bring in physical health initiatives. You can do emotional and mental well-being initiatives, particularly around stress management and mental health. You can do financial and social well-being initiatives, and I would suggest that one of the most powerful ones you can do is actually the last one, where you're giving back, because volunteering and charity fundraising do help to reduce stress and anxiety by shifting the focus from you to somebody else, and it can provide a strong sense of purpose, which is often missing in people's lives. And also, you're looking after your future health. One of the things I get quite exercised about is how people need to look after themselves to stop themselves getting ill, rather than waiting to get ill and pop a pill to fix it. Preventing health is a much more sustainable option. Sorry, preventing illness rather than preventing health. Sorry, that was a bit of a faux pas. And I just thought I'd share with you something that a colleague that I met at a chamber event actually shared on LinkedIn after a recent workplace wellbeing day that I did. I went down to the office. I saw roughly half and half, men and women, all ages, all kinds of backgrounds, and they had a mixture of mini facials and health treatments. And Lara said, from the moment that I arrived, the office was filled with incredible scents. And within 20 minutes, the atmosphere was completely transformed, smiles all around, a sense of calm, and a real boost to the team's energy. And that made me feel that, yes, my job has been done, because that's exactly the kind of response that I would like to have amongst people that I'm going to help. And I was really touched by that feedback. But also, it just shows what a very simple program can do for the people that you work with. So because I know that a lot of us are sort of sitting at desks on Zoom a lot of the time, I've got some tips to improve your well-being at work. And so when you're in the office, think about how your workstation is set up. Make sure you've got your screen at the right height, and you've got the right kind of chair and lumbar support and all that kind of thing, because it does have a knock-on effect on your body and your bones, and how where your stress might be in your neck and your head, for example, and your eyes as well. I would say stand and stretch regularly. Sitting down for long periods of time is almost as bad as smoking. It's not a great thing to be doing. So try and stand up and stretch, and drink water. I mean, just keep drinking water. I've got my big water thing, and I try and get through that every day. And also, you can eat hydrating foods, fruits and veggies that have lots of water in them, and soups and things as well, as instead of a sandwich, maybe, just to make sure that you're getting more water into you. And an optician friend of mine told me about the 20-20-20 rule, which is a really great thing for your eyesight. So 20-20-20 means that you need to look at something that is at least 20 meters away from you for at least 20 seconds every 20 minutes. So in other words, take your eyes away from the screen, try and look out of a window, stand up and look out of a window if possible, but just make sure that you refocus your eyes, getting away from the screens, and don't just go from your laptop to your phone straight away. Just make sure that you give your eyes a chance to look at other things, preferably something green as well, outdoors and nature, because that being in nature is really good for all kinds of levels of well-being. Also, pay attention to the light quality that surrounds you. I was listening to, I love the Feel Better, Live More podcast with Rangan Chatterjee. And I was catching up on some episodes, and episode 586 is about the science of sunshine. Now, I know as a skincare ambassador, we are always encouraging people to really protect their skin from the harmful effects of the sun's rays. But the whole light spectrum is important to our whole body. And particularly in recent years, since we've stopped walking to work so much because we're living at home and working at home, we're getting things delivered, so we're not walking to the shops. We're not getting as much sunshine as we used to. Added to which, we've taken away the incandescent lights that obviously take a lot of energy, and we've replaced them with LEDs, but they don't have the same light spectrum in them. And we've also filtered out some of the sun's rays from our windows as well. So the ultimate, the upshot of all of that is that we're not getting the sort of the infrared end of the spectrum, which is really important for all kinds of levels of physical and mental well-being. So I would highly recommend listening to that episode, because it is absolutely fascinating. And you might think differently about how you've set up your workstation. Also, if you can, swap out tea and coffee for some herbal teas and infusions. And at this time of year, if you're suffering from colds and coughs and things, try and infuse some ginger and lemon, and maybe add some turmeric in there. It's amazing. I make this sort of magic tea and it fixes everything. See if you can have healthier snacks and meals away from your desk if possible. And if you can, see if you can cut down on chemical exposure, because when you start looking into the chemicals that are in our homes and in our workplaces from things like clothing and carpets and furniture and air fresheners, all these kind of things, even scented candles, people are beginning to realize that they are actually full of chemicals that can even affect your hormone balances, and can be really not very good for you at all when you start looking into it. So have a look at that as well, because it's amazing what we are exposed to without even knowing it. And also, I would say keep, hand cream, lip balm around your desk and use them regularly. We're often washing our hands a lot more than we used to, and hands can really take a beating in the winter. So just keep moisturizing your hands. And then I would say do some face yoga. At home, if you've got something like this, a gua sha, like it's a little flint of jade or a roller. So this rolls, it can help improve circulation in your face and get the blood moving in your face. But just for a little bit of relaxation, but also to improve, maybe if your jawline's beginning to sag a little bit, I would say do some chin chisels. Now, you might not want to do this if you put your makeup on, but this is a really relaxing thing to do. So your chin chisels, scissors around your lips, and always going up towards the sort of, this area of your face. So lifting your face. And then if you're going around your eye area, be really, really careful here. So this area of your eye is some of the most thin and sensitive parts of your face, and when you really rub your eyes and pull your skin around there, it can damage it. So just be really careful around your eyes, and if you want to just improve the circulation under your eyes, just gently pat your eyes, and that can help move because this is a place where all the toxins kind of gather, and that's why you've got your dark circles. So patting around there, smoothing here. And then I love this one. Take your thumbs, put them on your temple, and then do windscreen wipers. So you can go down below your eye socket here, or do the windscreen wipers on your forehead. And that's, I don't know, there's something really, really relaxing about that. Linda, I can't see you, but I hope you're doing this as well.
I'm not.
And then forehead fountains as well. This is super relaxing and smooths out those lines on your forehead. And if you can do it with a nice sort of just a little oil or something at night, or when you're putting your cleanser on your face, this is just a really nice way to relax, and I better stop because otherwise I'm going to fall asleep. And then, last but not least, in the office, don't forget to breathe. I mean, I don't know about you, I end up with my shoulders up and holding my breath, and that is really bad for you. So get your shoulders down and breathe. There are so many programs that you can do to help with deep breathing and reducing stress. There's box breathing, where you inhale for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, and hold the exhale with nothing in your lungs for 4 seconds, and then start again. So you're breathing in a box. That can be incredibly beneficial for reducing stress and nervousness, for example, before a presentation. And then if you can, get out of the office, walk in nature if possible. Nature is our greatest healer. If you can be in greenery, happy days. Get some sunshine safely, of course, without exposing your skin to too much damaging sun's rays, but you do need sunshine for other reasons as well. And then if you can, walk and talk. Take your meetings outside. Some of the best meetings I've ever had have been on a walk. There's something about the physical movement, the greenery around you, that just gives you a different level of inspiration. And when I was working with my colleagues in Europe, I would often take my teams meetings outside. I would walk the dog at the same time as talking. Now, obviously, if you have to pay attention to a presentation or take notes, then that's not so easy. But I would really, if you can, think of ways to get outside and talk with your colleagues, either physically or online. Also, Synergy do networking meetings. We do them in Whitstable and Maidstone, Linda. Are there any others?
No, just Whitstable and Maidstone at the moment. Funny enough, I was just thinking about seeing if Sue Lee fancied doing one in Tunbridge Wells, but yeah, maybe spring next year we'll look at doing some others.
I'd highly recommend it. And networking in general, for me, I mean, I meet people who find that, particularly the bigger format networking meetings are quite overwhelming, and that thought of standing up and giving a 60 seconds can be really stressful. But for me, I was at home working on Zoom by myself with no physical contact with people as part of my previous job. And that's one of the reasons I just decided to get busy with Tropic and to get out and meet people. You find sometimes a small random conversation will lead to something really big and really interesting. So I would always recommend going out and getting out there and networking. And then at home, when you're not working, I hope you manage, if you do work at home, I hope you've managed to make your workplace separate to where you live, your living space, and by no means never take your computer into bed with you and do your presentation late at night like I might have done last. It's not good for you. And yes, do try and separate those areas, but also fix your gut if you can. Pay attention to what you're putting inside your body. Your skin will thank you, and it will also thank you when you pay attention to what you're putting on your skin. Read the ingredients list, find out what substances don't do you any good and what doesn't do the planet good either. If you want to ask me about that, I'm very happy to let you know some of the substances that you would be shocked at what they do to you. Also, pay attention to your sleep habits. I just literally yesterday, something popped into my inbox that said sleep problems now affect work performance for over half of UK employees. And sleep problems can impact on your physical health and your mental health and your productivity. And whether it's just having a lavender pillow mist or something like that, or having a lavender bag, or even a lavender and hop bag. In this part of the world, it's very easy to get hold of hops. And when you have them near your pillow, they actually help you to go to sleep. You don't have to drink them in beer form. And keep up your hydration. It's very tempting just to get home and stop drinking water, but keep your hydration levels going. And also, as we were saying earlier, just cleanse and moisturize your skin at night. And, around the sort of, brushing your teeth, cleansing your skin, make it mindful. It's a little, 5-minute ritual that you can do just to make yourself feel good, reflect on the day, and just have a mini spa session for you before you go to bed. And it makes a huge difference to how you feel. Lots of people recommend journaling, either late at night or first thing in the morning. And the podcast that I mentioned earlier, Dr. Chatterjee, he recommends doing that. As he actually recommends it as he prescribes it for his patients as a doctor, because it can make a tremendous difference. And so can meditation, affirmations, visualizations. If particularly if you're a business owner. And also, I would say check out The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. I came across this years and years ago, and it gives you a system for getting in all those things that you need to do for your business and life before you have to start your day. And it's silence or meditation, affirmations, visualizations, exercise, reading, and journaling or scribing, and just spending even 1 minute on each of those before you get on with your day can really help improve your day. It's amazing. You wouldn't think it would, but it does. And then I would just say make adjustments to your skincare routine, particularly in the winter. It's staggering. 9 out of 10 women are not happy with their skin, and I would imagine that it's a similar figure for men. So just moisturize frequently. Look out for hydrating ingredients like ceramides, hyaluronic acid, shea butter, and jojoba oil in as the ingredients for your moisturizers. Weirdly, you need to limit the heat that you I love a thermal bath. And I love, just bathing in general. But if you have very long, very hot baths, that can strip the natural oils from your skin. So, and also use gentle moisturizing or soap-free cleansers if you can, rather than having the harsh perfumed and deodorizing soaps that are just, lining the shelves of the high street. Layer your products if you can. So maybe use a hydrating serum or a mist before you put your moisturizer on, because that helps to sandwich and lock in the moisture to your skin. And also protect your lips and your hands. Like we said earlier, your hands take a real beating, especially in the winter. And wear gloves, wear cotton and natural fibers if you can as well, because when we wrap ourselves in a layer of plastic next to our skin, that doesn't help our skin either, because it changes the balance of how you perspire and so on. And also just remember, your lips are along with the area around your eyes, they're some of the thinnest skin on your body, and they need special attention. And I would suggest not using something that has petroleum jelly in it, because when you look into that, again, do your homework, but it's not great. And be mindful of the ingredients that are in your moisturizers and so on, because retinoids and certain chemicals can be particularly drying, and maybe use those less frequently at night. There are some gentler alternatives available, and it's worth looking those up. So that's it. Consider it done. My presentation is done, and thank you for your attention. I hope you found it useful. Please do connect with me if you'd like to on Facebook and Instagram, and I'm better at LinkedIn actually, so that might be the better place to find me. And also, if you want to scan the QR code there, I've got brochures, my online shop, and more information both about Tropic and how to connect with me on there. So thank you again, and thank you, Linda, for the opportunity to be with you today.
No, thank you. I think it's really interesting, and I think a lot more companies now are starting to recognise the importance of having wellness in the workplace.
Yeah.
And I think that they're. Shall I turn your presentation off and then?
Oh yeah.
while we're there. Yeah, I think they're starting to recognise that, and there's so much that goes alongside, skincare and well-being, that it makes such a difference when staff feel more confident. I think
Yeah.
they get more productive, don't they?
Absolutely. And I think we've got quite a few people in Synergy that might be able to help with all kinds of different initiatives. And, if you're not in a workplace setting, then having these business academies is a brilliant way of sharing that kind of thing. So this is like your workplace wellness initiative from Synergy.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Well, funny enough, we're breaking the business academy down into wellness, financial.
okay,
We're breaking it into different categories so that people can look it up, whether they're startups or whatever, which ones they prefer. So, yeah,
brilliant.
it's going to be good going forward. So, thank you so much for your time.
You're
And
welcome.
yeah, if anyone's got any comments, just leave them in the comments on below the presentation on Facebook or LinkedIn, and then Catherine will obviously respond to those.
Yes.
And this session will be going live at 12:30. So well done, Catherine.
Okay.